Hi, Bella. Thank you for the clarifying question about your calculator. That makes more sense. It's probably just the way you're typing it in. So I'm going to show you that as well. But just quickly looking at this problem, again, you should have had written down the cost per person for the resort is $300. This is the 10-2 notes you asked about. The cost of the rental car is $220. If I was teaching this, I kind of scribbled that out. But then to write the function, x be the number of people, cost for the cost per person. You take the resort fee, which is the $300, and that is what each person has to pay. So that's the cost per person that goes on the end. But then the $220, the rental car, that's what they're sharing. So that's why you're doing 220 divided by x. Okay, so ultimately we want to know when, how many people must go so that it's not more than 350. So we're going to talk about solving this graphically, where under f1 of x, you're going to graph the 220 over x plus 300. And f2 of x is 350. And we're finding the point of intersection. And that's the part you said you weren't able to do. I do want to tell you, though, that if I was teaching this in class, I've gone away from solving this graphically, because this is the same as putting 350 in for this. You could just take the 350 and set it equal to 220 over x plus 300 and solve it very quickly algebraically. So if I was to solve this algebraically, I would subtract 300. I get 50 equals 220 over x. Now the one twist is that I have to move that x first, so you actually have to multiply both sides by x. So I get 50x equals 220 and divide by 50. And I get x equals 4.4, I think, when I did that. Okay, so we could have done this algebraically to get the same answer. I would actually encourage you to go this way, but let's talk about how you graph it. I haven't tried this yet, so let's make sure it works. On your 84, you go y equals, I'm guessing the biggest thing you need to do is put a parenthesis first. Okay, so my guess is you maybe didn't do that because this calculator does not have the fraction bar. That's the biggest difference. So 220 divided by x, close your parenthesis. That's the biggest difference between this and the Inspire that the other students are using. They have a way to type in a fraction. We do not. So we just have to do 220 divided by x, but it has to be in parentheses plus 300. If you did not have those parentheses, it was going to be a line, which is probably why you were getting that. And then the other one, I'd get 350, and then I graph it. Now you can see I don't see much of anything. So when I go to zoom, I'm going to do number 3, zoom out. Click enter, 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 enter. So now I see what you're saying. Let me go into window. Actually, let's go back to zoom, standard number 6. Let's just go to our window and change it by hand. Okay, so we care about the x value, so my x's should be okay. But the y maximum, again, I want to know when it's going to be 350, so I'm going to go up to 500. So let's try that and see what our window looks like. Okay, so this was helpful for me because I was able to see maybe you were typing it in right and it was just a window thing. And even when I tried to zoom out, it didn't work. And that's why I tried to teach students, go into your window and change it manually. Again, the reason I didn't change my x's is because it was just number of people. But the y maxes, I knew I was graphing a line at 350, so I needed to go higher than that. So that's why I went 500. Once I have this, I can find that point of intersection by going second calc. Number 5 is intersection. And then again, this is what I showed on the other one. I would just hit first curve. I can't even see the cursor, but I think I could just hit enter. Pops onto the first curve. Enter, enter. And it tells me, you can see that I get that same 4.4. Okay? So your answers, as we talked about in the video, were between 4 and 5 people. And then this is, if I did f of 4, if I plug that in, I got 355. And if I plugged 5 in, I got 344. So for it to be less than 350, I need 5 people to go. Okay, but again, solving algebraically might just be easier. Otherwise, I think it was either parentheses or, now that I've looked at it, probably more so the window. Thanks, and let me know if you have follow-up questions. Have a good day.